craziest thing about the 1947 Miracle on 34th Street is that it was released in the summer. So it was a summer film, and the trailer didn't even mention Santa Claus in it.
Have you seen Miracle on 34th Street?
Have I? Ed, it's wonderful.
Yeah, I understand. It's a pretty good comedy.
Comedy? Well, I suppose that's true. I had a million laughs, but the thing that got me were the tears in between. It's so tender and charming and warm. I don't know how the men are going to like it. It's a great woman's picture.
Is that so?
This version of Miracle on 34th Street, which is the only one we focused on, is not the only one. A lot of you people know about the one with Mara Wilson. So I want to tell you about some of the other ones. So there is this one with Sebastian Cabot from A Family Affair. This one's from 1973. This one was gone, was missing, was lost media for many, many years, had never been released on home video. This is a pretty fun version. I like it. It's very 70s. You get a look at the 1970s Macy's Parade. So here's the one with Mara Wilson. Now, I like this movie. This one, instead of having Macy's and Gimbals, you have Kohl's and Lord knows what else, TJ Maxx. I like this movie. I love Richard Attenborough. I love Jurassic Park. When I saw Jurassic Park, I was like, I love this guy. And boy, he is very, like the early scene where he looks at that little boy and he goes, I am Santa Claus. It's great. You know, he's so good in the part. I really thought he made for a good Santa. When you get to the end of the movie and they swap out the whole segment with the mail being dumped on the desk and replace it with the In God We Trust on the dollar, what are we doing? Why did we do this? It's like you have this perfect ending that we're all waiting for. There's no need to update it. And if you're going to update it, you better make it better. Like, you can't update it and be like, and it's also kind of a good scene. That's not enough. It just falls flat. It's like he holds up the dollar and he's like, it says In God We Trust. Well, if we trust in God, we trust in Santa Claus. It's like, what are we, first of all, no, the reason the letters get dumped on the judge's desk in the first place is not because the people that work at the post office actually believe Chris is Santa Claus. They're just like, hey, all those letters that are stored in the break room, let's get rid of them. Let's ship them all over to the courthouse. In People versus Larry Flynt, they did a version of this where they had a bunch of exotic dancers dumping $1 bills on the judge's desk to pay for a fine, if I remember correctly. Well, here's another one. This is the second version I was aware of. So I was always aware of the 1940s version. I saw this one at a dollar store when DVDs started showing up at dollar stores, and I picked it up and I watched it. And part of the way through, I was like, I don't think this is the movie I saw, but I was really enjoying it. First of all, you got Thomas Mitchell as Santa. Now, Thomas Mitchell was Billy, the uncle in It's a Wonderful Life. So for me, a big It's a Wonderful Life fan, I was like, I'm pretty sure Santa was never, Billy from It's a Wonderful Life. Any other time I've watched this, I can't believe I wouldn't have known this. But I loved this. I thought this was great. And it's an hour long. And it plays well. It moves fast. I highly recommend it. This one just popped up on YouTube last year, and the guy tells a whole story behind it. I recommend you go see it. I'm glad it's been up for a year. I thought it might get pulled down immediately. He tells his story about how he obtained it, and it seems like it may now be there forever, which is awesome. And thanks to that dude for putting it up. Ed Wynn, wildly miscast as Santa Claus. If you're a fan of Disney movies, you probably will recognize Ed Wynn's voice. He was the Mad Hatter, and his first scene as Santa, he's like, why, you've got Donner where Blitzen should be. This is totally wrong. I don't believe it. I am Santa Claus. He tries to rein in it a little bit, but it's like impossible. This guy, he was wildly miscast as Santa. Orson Bean is in this as well. I mean, this has got another all-star cast. One of the highlights of my Christmas season this year was checking this out for the first time. I saw it popped up last year, but I didn't see it until after Christmas. So I was like, I'm going to save this. And I start my Christmas viewing very early. I don't talk about it much because I know that upsets people, but I'm telling you, I take the Halloween costume off as I'm watching a Christmas movie. And I'm like, it's time. The time has come. And I slowly start putting my decorations up. My son's like, let's put everything on the lawn. Let's do it in mid-October. I'm like, I'm telling you, people will burn our house down. There are people that are very They don't like it. They're very big on when Christmas should start. But now I'm so glad at this time of year because now you can unapologetically say, I'm excited. I'm watching a Christmas movie, and nobody says, hey, I haven't had turkey. And they show that cartoon where the turkey's so dumb. Turkeys are dumb, so it's all the more fitting. But that turkey's like, you got to eat me first. I'm edible. I've watched a few other specials. I watch a lot of weird stuff, and so I want to share some with you. The Cabbage Patch Kids First Christmas. This is a gem. Seek this one out. It's on YouTube. It's about a bunch of Cabbage Patch Kids who want to go on a trip to the city. They meet a little girl who's got like Forrest Gump leg braces. I've seen this one a few times over the years. I do remember this from my childhood. And so every year if I choose to watch it again, it's a flood of memories. It's such a wonderful 80s cartoon. Xavier Roberts is a character. He's like the Peter Robbins to this, which I thought, and then somehow he signs all their butts. But he doesn't do that in the video. But I mean, that's Cabbage. I'll put one here. If you don't remember Cabbage Patch Kids, I'm going to put a butt here. Mickey's Christmas Carol. This is one of the best. I mean, Pete as the bad guy, Uncle Scrooge as Uncle Scrooge. This is a gem. If you haven't seen this one, it's short and well worth your time. Barney Waiting for Santa. So I watched this one last night. This is wild. I watched this last night. My son obviously did not watch this with me. Now, I do have a lot of young nieces and nephews, so theoretically one of them could have been watching it with me. So it's not as weird as you think. But I watched this the other day. It takes like 2.5 minutes for Barney to show up in Waiting for Santa. Well, Santa doesn't show up till much later. But it's like, we've got minutes going by. We're ticking away, and where the heck is Barney? And then Barney shows up, and he's like, I was talking to Santa earlier today. And I'm like, it's Christmas Eve. I don't care how many stars Santa likes to talk to. Why on earth would he call Barney on Christmas Eve? And then Barney's like, well, let me just use my magic to change your clothes, which I don't know if Barney has the magic to get children into different clothes. That seems like a magic that Barney shouldn't have. And then Barney takes them on this whole adventure to meet Mrs. Claus, who sings songs with them. And at one point, she sings a classic Christmas song where the lyrics are about Christmas Eve almost being here. No, it's here, Mrs. Claus. And you should, I think, be doing something else, either worrying about your husband or helping in some way. Instead, you're like hanging out with Barney and having a party. Dinosaurs Refrigerator Day. If I can implore you with nothing else, it's watch this. This is on Disney Plus. It's from season 2. It's called Refrigerator Day because the dinosaurs, they're before the birth of Christ. They even talk about this at one point. They're like, why are we counting backwards? What are we waiting for? But dinosaurs, they do not have Christmas, but they have Refrigerator Day where they celebrate their refrigerator. It's very funny. It has a wonderful ending when they go return the stuff to the department store. It's one of the funniest scenes. I can quote it word for word. Oh, so this whole thing was a clever ruse to embarrass me in front of Hank. It is great. So it builds so perfectly that by the end, side-splitting laughter. I cannot recommend this enough. By the way, if you like these videos, be like the Fonz, give it a thumbs up because that'll let YouTube know that you liked it, and then they'll share it with other people that they think are like you. But those people are losers. They're not like you, but they need you to put that thumbs up on it so that they know it's out there. And then more people will watch this, which would be a great Christmas present to me. Well, right now there's a box here and here. You can choose either one. YouTube says this one is the one that you would like the most. They say best reviewer right here. But I picked out this one. I dug through the archives. I found one that I think you'll like. I put it over here. Your choice. Come back tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Brand new video.